Hello and welcome back to the channel today for some major breaking news. Watford manager Javi Gracia is thought to be on the brink, and we're going to discuss everything with you today. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Wow. Unbelievable, staggering, incredible quotes from Javi Gracia in the post-match press conference today. We will start with them quotes directly. This coming via Adam Jury at the Watford Observer, and it is that Javi Gracia plans to talk with Watford owner Gino Pozzo as soon as possible following the team's 2-0 defeat at home to Swansea City. In full, he said, "I'm really disappointed and want to speak with the owner to feel and to know how they feel in this moment. I'm really disappointed with the level of the team, the situation of the team, and maybe the future of the team as well. It's something I want to know and speak about." He went on to say it's about everything that is happening on the pitch, about what they think, about what they want, and about what they expect of the future, about everything. And when asked if he wanted those discussions with Gino Pozzo immediately, Javi Gracia said, "Yes, tonight if I can, as soon as possible." Staggering, unbelievable quotes from Gracia. This is something I've not seen as a Watford supporter myself. I'm quite young, so I don't want to make you at home feel too old, but certainly in my lifetime, I've never seen a manager call out an owner as directly as this. Chris Wilder did it in a more low-key way during his brief spell at the club. I remember after our defeat away at QPR under Wilder, he spoke about how we operated and how, we weren't really a serious club in kind of how we hired and fired managers, our recruitment model, etc., etc. Of course, we could go on forever when talking about Gino Pozzo, but unbelievable, absolutely staggering quotes from Javi. What happens now? What happens from here? I think there's kind of three scenarios that could potentially transpire in the coming days. The first one is they back Javi. They come out, they issue a statement like they did with Cleverley when rumours around his future emerged, and back him publicly. Give him what we would call in the football world the vote of confidence. A statement from Duxbury, from Gino, from Juan-Luca Nani, saying they have full faith in the manager to turn the situation around. That's one thing they could do. The second is do nothing. Javi stays in his post. They've heard his comments and they don't issue any sort of public acknowledgement of what was said. And the third is that Javi leaves by either mutual consent or ultimately being dismissed by the owner. And in this scenario, personally, I do think the latter is certainly what will happen. Now, the question for me to answer is the sacking justified if it does happen? And there's so many nuances and questions that have to be asked. It's a real complex one to dive into. When they appointed Javi a few months ago, both Gino and Scott Duxbury come out and said that they regretted sacking him all the way back in 2019. They said it was the worst decision they ever made at Watford, sacking Javi after the FA Cup final. And they brought him back this time to arguably appease fans, get us back on side, and to some effect it worked. And actually, for a few games the team was playing very good football. The high point of Javi's tenure so far was that Christmas spell, the 4 wins in a row. The Leicester City game, a particular highlight for me on Boxing Day. But from New Year's Day onwards and from the start of the transfer window, there has clearly been a breakdown in relationship between both Javi and the hierarchy. He's reverted back to his old system, which didn't work as well as what he played over that Christmas period. And I'm so confused. And maybe confused is the wrong word, because we've seen this time and time again. This, I think, if Javi gets sacked, this would then be Watford's 25th or 26th appointment under Pozzo, and the buck ultimately stops with the people at the top. They can sack Javi and blame it on poor form, but who appointed Javi Gracia in the first place? It is Duxbury, it is Gino, it's Juan Lucanani, it's these people who avoid criticism, who ultimately should be taking responsibility. And I want to call out Scott Duxbury today as well, because this guy is a joke. He really is a funny guy. Like, he'll come out over Christmas when we won them 4 games and go, we feel so together, we're so pleased with Javi, we really like the direction we're going in. And now Javi's under pressure, and now Javi's issued these comments. Scott Duxbury is nowhere to be found. Where is the guy? This is our CEO, who has overseen now years of consistent failure at Watford, and yeah, he's nowhere to be seen. So my question to you, Scott, would be, come out and communicate. Tell us what's happening. Are you backing Javi? Are you sacking Javi? If so, what's the reason? What are you doing to rectify the mistakes you've made? I think as supporters, we are bored of this. We're bored of this constant cycle. And I think under Gino Pozzo, we have now reached our limit as a football club, because there's so much more money in the game now. There's so much more investment. And for us to get back to the Premier League, it's a very long shot. They call it a Hail Mary, don't they, in America? It's kind of a long throw. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. And it feels like this season was our last opportunity to do just that. We're losing so many players in the summer. We know that. We know our model is to buy cheap, sell high, buy potential, and sell when they've grown into better players. Vata could leave, Bar could leave, Othman Mama could leave, Imran Louza is certainly on the way out, James Abankwah is going back to Udinese. It wouldn't surprise me if Egil Selvik wanted to find a move as well. There would have been other players I've missed off there as well. Georgi Shakvatatse, one of them too. This is concerning, it's worrying, and I don't know where we go from here. I think they'll give him the whole City game, because that's the game in hand, of course. And I think the reason they'll give him Hull City is to dig his own grave. I agree with those of you who say Javi should have done better with the squad he was given. I agree. I absolutely agree. He should have found more consistent results. He should have gone for teams more. He's been stubborn, pragmatic, and he's excluded kind of 4 or 5 players who haven't featured at all. Duomo, Morris, Petrie, Formos Mendy, Small Mendy, Vivaldo Semedo. There's probably others I've missed there. He's not used his wider squad. I get that. I'm with you. Do not worry. But I also think you can criticise his tactics as well. It's not been good enough. And if he is sacked, yes, it's justifiable. But as I said, who appointed Javi in the first place? Whose idea was it to appease the fan base once again? It was those at the very top. And that's who our energy should be directed towards. If Javi does go, I don't want his legacy to be tarnished. He will forever be in my heart for what he achieved in that FA Cup season. Don't get me wrong, but I feel it's a real shame we're in this situation again. Let's see what transpires over the next few days. I've had my rant. I want to hear from you now in the comments. Do let me know how you're feeling tonight. My voice is going. I do apologise, but yeah. Crazy situation, unbelievable situation, and yeah, playoffs. What playoffs? You know, I'm certainly off that train now. I remember over Christmas saying I'm on the promotion train. I'm ready to go. That's not happening if we're being honest. So yeah, a real shame that our season has fallen off in this manner. And yeah, who knows what will happen now. But what I will say is, going back to the first point, once you've called out Gino Pozzo in this way, in my opinion, there is no coming back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.